Hey, my name is Chris Jacome, and I've been doing a couple of these guitar instructional videos and kind of realized I was struggling with what to provide, and I finally figured out why. It's because I don't know you. As a guitar teacher, I'm used to having my students in front of me and I can read their verbal and nonverbal cues as to how they're interpreting the information I'm giving them. So inherently that makes a video very, very challenging for me as a teacher, because I don't know if you're getting this or not, or what level you're at. I have no idea. So basically, I'm going to give you 7 good tips to help you find a guitar teacher, and hopefully this will convince you that you need to have a guitar teacher as your primary source of learning guitar. There is so much information out there on YouTube and beyond throughout the internet that I think it will behoove you, if you really want to get good at playing the guitar, it will behoove you to get a teacher to help you filter out all the information and set goals and figure out how it all fits together best for you. So I'm not doing texting. I actually wrote some notes here for myself. So I have 7 tips for finding a good guitar teacher. My first tip for you is to be safe. Depending on where you're finding this information, to find a guitar instructor, just make sure that you're safe. Your safety is important, and don't go off of some website and find somebody without any referrals or anything, and then show up to somebody's house that you don't know and proceed to go into the back of their house with them. Don't do it, whether you're male or female. Be safe, take care of yourself, trust your intuition. So that's a really important thing. That's number 1, your safety. Number 2, now this rule is for you. Be a good student. So all these next tips are based on you being a good student. Like I said, I don't know anything about you. So being a good student means that you are respectful, you allow the teacher to speak and don't interrupt unless they're being rude by not giving you the space to talk. But be a good student, be there to learn, and be a person that, anyway, be a good student. Number 3, so this is predicated on you being a good student. A good guitar teacher will listen to you. Meaning that they're open to ideas or your questions for sure, and that there is a proper flow. Like I said, this is a relationship, and that I'm hoping that you're a good guitar student and you're not going, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this, and what if this happens, and what if this happens, there has to be some kind of allowance of that teacher to teach and flow with their ideas, and then hopefully they will be able to provide that time for you to ask questions. Number 4, be on the lookout for absolutes. Absolutes meaning you have to do this, you always do this, or you never do this. There are very few absolutes, and that kind of closes things off if they're saying, well, you always have to do this, or it's just done this way and that's how you have to do it. I teach certain ways to do things based on my experience, and that's all I can teach from. So when I show you something, it's based on my experience, but I always tell my students that you don't have to do it that way. From my experience, it might be what I think might be the best, but I can point out several guitar players that don't do it that way that are awesome. There are so many amazing guitar players out there, and some of them do things that I would never think of doing technically, that makes it seem technically more challenging, but they overcome that challenge. So just be on the lookout for those absolutes. A guitar teacher telling you that you have to do it absolutely this way. Number 5. This might not come up in the lesson, in your first lesson, it might not come up in the 40th lesson, but just depending on where you are and within the process, you might ask a question that the guitar teacher doesn't know how to answer. This can be a telltale sign. I personally think that a guitar teacher should be able to say, I don't know. I don't know. Any teacher should be able to say that, because everybody's just on a journey of learning. So some people might be a little bit further along, but they're still learning, and everybody has a long way to go. Nobody knows it all. So I think it's important for any teacher to be able to say, I don't know. I can look it up for you, or I can direct you somewhere else to find that information, and I'm interested in learning it, but right now I don't have the answer for you. And I think that says a lot about that teacher. And so now we're at number 6. I would recommend, if your budget allows it, to give two classes. So give the teacher 2 classes. Unless if you walk away from that first lesson and you haven't learned anything and you're upset, then don't go back. There's no reason to it. But if you feel like, it was an okay lesson, I learned, if you feel like you learned something about the guitar and about music, then you got something out of it. And remember that the teacher this is their first time with you. You're trying to create this rapport. So I would recommend giving them a second chance if your budget allows it. And you might find that second class goes much, much more smoothly. Because as a teacher, now they have an idea of your level and they can kind of tailor it now. That first cold call, show up, and to have to create a lesson plan on the spot for somebody that you don't know what their level is or anything is a challenge, and it takes a very good teacher to be able to nail it on that first lesson. My last 7th tip to find a good guitar teacher. Ultimately, you are the boss. I'm assuming you're getting a private guitar lesson. You are paying your money to learn what you want to learn on the guitar. So make sure that you're doing that, and that the teacher, even if they might steer you and go, look, I think it's important that we work on this or whatever, but it's because we have this goal of yours in mind, and I know that you might not see it right now, but this will help you later with this. And as long as they're staying on track with that, not trying to go, oh well, let's not do that or whatever. You should be happy with your lessons. You're paying for them, and so remember that your money talks, and you can let them know, well, look, I really want to do this, and if you're not willing to show me this, then I'm going to go find somebody else, and stick to it. And that's it. So now, those are my 7 tips, and I feel much better. Thank you for going with me on that little journey, and now I can teach guitar and give you some more videos on how to play guitar. I'm going to stick more with flamenco music because that's what I do, but hopefully these tips will be able to help anybody on the guitar. So stick around. I'm going to have lots more videos coming up, but now at least you know I feel better that you should get a guitar teacher as well. Get a guitar teacher that can really help you get to your goals as a guitarist. Thanks so much. Best of luck with your guitar playing. My website is cbjmusic.com. Thank you.